Hi, I'm Girish Patil from Gnostice. In this session, we're going to learn how to fulfill several of the needs and requirements related to PDF documents that most software applications have. We're going to start with creating PDF documents from reports and then move on to enhancing and working with existing PDF documents. And we're going to do all of this programmatically using Delphi and the Gnostice PDF tools. Here's how we will make use of the time we have for this session. Before we get hands-on with the demos and code examples, it's important for us to understand the needs, requirements, and pains we are attempting to solve and a bit about the technology and products we will use to solve them. So we will get to understand that in the overview section and then get into the demonstration and code. In the demonstration, we'll first look at the general capabilities and usage of the product and then go into more specific scenarios, some of which we have received from customers. Then some general information on products and special promotions for CodeRage 3, followed by live Q&A. The pain areas we're going to attempt to solve in this session can be broadly classified under three different types. They are creation of electronic documents, conversion of electronic documents from one format to another, and working with existing PDF documents. Under creation, the first two listed here are very common and almost universal requirements across applications. Creation of electronic documents in different formats and doing so from different inputs, such as a process of exporting a report or a database, or through code where there may be some special requirements. Then, under creation, when it comes to PDF output, we tend to have special needs and they turn out to be real pains sometimes. For example, creating interactive forms when exporting to PDF using a report. The second type of needs is conversion of documents from almost any format to PDF and other document formats. The third type is all about dealing with PDF documents. One, as a next step in the creation process itself, to output more user-friendly PDF documents and handle special needs. Then, dealing with PDF may be one of the fundamental functions of our application, such as a document management or a reporting application. So here we may want to extract content, process forms, and do a whole lot of manipulation on the PDF documents. And finally, using PDF as an input in our application, where we want to extract information from it or simply include it as part of a report. The fundamental requirement is, of course, to do all of this the way we are used to developing Delphi applications. Now, let's look at the technology and get an architectural overview of the products we're going to use to fulfill these needs. We're going to be using three products mainly. For the first type of needs, that is creation of electronic documents, we will use eDoc Engine. And this is a broad architectural overview of eDoc Engine. At the core of eDoc Engine are the different format engines, and there is of course an internal layering for proper code reuse. The format engines provide two levels of full-fledged APIs. The low-level GDI-compatible draw commands useful for document creation from existing printing code, and the higher level API more specific to each format. For example, to draw tables, forms, render meta files, and so on. Then there are the export interfaces, which help us connect and very easily generate electronic documents from other third-party Delphi libraries such as reporting tools. Let's have a quick look at these in the Delphi IDE. When you install eDoc Engine, you would find the two additional tabs on the tool palette. One containing the engines and the other containing the export interfaces that you have chosen to install for the third-party library that you want to use along with the edoc engine. So I have placed a few engine components here and the export interfaces. So currently I have installed only a few export interfaces for Rave, Quick Report, and Report Builder. So the PDF engine, as you can see here, has all the properties that you would want to have for your PDF engine, and then events to respond to do some special operations on the PDF that you're creating. And then there is the doc settings component to handle common properties across engines. So you can just set properties on the doc settings and provide the doc settings or link up the doc settings to the engine component so that you don't have to set those properties every time. The export interfaces, as I said earlier, help you connect to other Delphi libraries and help you export without having to write any code. So you would normally place an export interface for your specific reporting tool and then connect it up to the engine that you want to allow exporting to, or the format that you want to allow exporting it to. Something like this. We'll get to see a lot more code later on in the demo. Let's get back and have a look at the product that we will use for the second type of needs, that is conversion from any electronic document format to PDF and other formats. For this we will be using Print to Edoc SDK. Print to Edoc consists of two parts, the Print to Edoc application and the Print to Edoc SDK. Print to Edoc is a Windows virtual printer based document converter and can create electronic documents from any Windows application that can print to a Windows printer. It consists of a virtual printer driver, the rendering engine, conversion settings and profiles management interfaces, a document preview and designer, and MS Office add-ins that provide enhanced support for Office applications. Let's do a quick run of the Print to Edoc application to help us understand each of these components, which will also help us understand the SDK better. Let's have a look at the Print to Edoc application through Microsoft Word. I go into File, Print. You can see the Print to Edoc application installed. So you usually select it from the Printers drop-down, go into Properties. Then you get to see all the properties that Print to Edoc allows us to configure. First we have the file saving and naming rules. Then we have global watermark settings, which we can enable and edit if we want to. And then we have the properties connected to each document format. For example, with PDF we have the compression rules, the font embedding, then the security rules, and you have the other properties for other document formats and some additional actions as well. Then we also get to save these properties, the settings that we make, to help us reuse them more easily at a later time for future document creation or document conversion operations. The SDK consists of the programming objects to control various aspects of print-to-doc and the whole conversion process, which we will get to see when we get into the demos. The SDK also consists of a deployment kit and an undeployment kit to enable smooth install and uninstall of print-to-doc on the target system, and another utility that lets us customize the document creation profiles that we would like to ship along with our applications. For the third type of needs, that is working with PDF documents, we will use PDF Toolkit. And here's what PDF Toolkit consists of. A main document component that reads and writes into PDF files and performs all the operations that we need to perform on the PDF. The other components use the API provided by the document component to deliver on their objectives. Let's switch to the IDE to understand how this works. When we install PDF Toolkit, we get this additional tab on the tool palette, which consists the components of PDF Toolkit. I've placed the PDF document component here, which is the main component. It has its set of properties and events. Then there's the viewer component and the outline viewer component. So if we need to make a viewer within our application, we need to place a document component, a viewer component, and an outline viewer component. Then hook up the viewer component with the document component by setting its property here, and hook up the outline viewer component with the document and the viewer, and finally set the file name property for the document. And once we set the active property of the viewer, we can start to see the PDF document within the viewer. The PDF document component has hundreds of methods to perform operations on the PDF file, as you can see here. Lots and lots of them. And also the viewer has some really nice methods to simplify development of viewer applications and to really customize the look and feel of the viewer. For example, these two methods here, to zoom in and zoom out the view, all we need to do is just call these methods. We don't have to worry about what the current zoom is and so on. As you can see, the architecture is fairly modular to allow us to implement the functionality we need, and also provides us the fundamental tools to customize the look and feel of our applications. We'll get to see more of these components when we get into the demos. Here's the complete list of demos we will be seeing and the specific topics that we will get to learn about. The demos map quite closely to the needs and pains we listed down a few moments ago. We'll start with creation, then go on to conversion, and finally on to working with existing PDF documents. Let's start with the first demo that shows us how to create a PDF file from a report in a snap. For this demo, we will be using Quick Report as the reporting tool. So I have set up a very simple report here and connected it to a client data set, which is getting its data from the events DB. I have not written any code. I have just placed all the components. Let's run this report. Have a look at it in the preview. You can see that the report is running. And if we go to save, we don't find any extra options. That is no PDF format to save to. Now let's see how to enable that PDF format in here in the save dialog so that users can save to PDF. So we will place the PDF engine component first and then drag the Quick Report export interface. then all we need to do is connect the quick report export interface to the engine, which is the PDF engine in our case. So if we needed to export to, let's say, another format, could be RTF, we need to place the RTF engine and another export interface component and hook it up to the RTF engine. Now let's preview it. We will not run this, we will just see this in design time. Save, and we have the additional options, PDF and RTF. Now let's just save this to our output folder. I've chosen our output folder. Let's choose PDF as the file type and give the file a name. Hit save. Let's not change any properties. There you go. You have the report as PDF, and we didn't write any code for it at all. The next example, which is the one I've selected now, shows us how to create a PDF on the fly in a web application. And for this, we will be using intraweb and see how to export from the intraweb grid. And then in the second part of it, we will see how to export from an existing Rave NDR file. First of all, thanks to Felix Colibri, I hope I pronounced that right, for his wonderful article on this topic on intraweb, Rave, and PDF. You can get more details at this link. Now let's have a look at the code that we have written to generate PDF from the intraweb grid. So first of all, we are using the PDF engine directly, that is in code, and then we set the initial properties, which is the file name and some preferences. Then we begin document creation, and then we start table drawing because we are exporting a grid here, and then we set up the column titles. Finally, write the data using the text out method and end the table and end the document. And that's it. The PDF file is ready to be viewed. Now, to view the document after it's been created, we are tapping into an event that PDF engine provides, which is the after end doc event, which tells us that the PDF file has finished creating and we can do what we want with the PDF file after that. So we just get to know where it was created and then invoke the intraweb method to open a new window for us and also give the PDF file name over there for it to open. And the second part of this example, which is to export from a Rave report file, it's pretty straightforward. Again, we access the edoc engine, the PDF engine, set the initial properties, and then we call the render document method on the Rave export interface, passing the Rave project. And that's it. We are ready to view the file once it's been created, and again it comes into this event and opens the created file. Let's run this demo and see how it works. It's all compiled and ready for us to run, so let me just click the button to run without debugging. Again, execute the application, click the first example, which is for exporting from the intraweb grid. There you go. The PDF containing the grid data is generated, and then the Rave report. The next demo I think is going to be very interesting for many people, and I think so because we've been asked this question by many customers earlier, and the question is how to create an interactive PDF form through a report. We're going to use Report Builder for this demo. As usual, we set up eDoc engine for Report Builder by placing the PDF engine and then the RB export interface, hooking up the export interface with the engine, which will automatically bring up the PDF option in the Save dialog of Report Builder. And the other important feature that we're going to use of eDoc engine is an event on the Report Builder export interface, which is the onDrawText event. Let's have a look at the report quickly to understand what we're trying to do. It's a very simple report. We place some text or label items, and we have some specific captions to them, which is basically some placeholders where our form fields will be placed. When the report starts to export to PDF, the onDrawText event of the export interface fires for every text item that's been drawn, and that's where we're going to do our magic. So we're going to watch for the text, all the text, and see if it's one of our placeholders, and then we're going to call on eDoc engine's API to insert the form elements. So this is how we do it. We create a text form field by calling on the class create method, set the properties, and then finally we just call the add form item of the PDF engine to insert the form field. Likewise, to insert a combo box, we just create the appropriate object and insert it. So that's how we achieve this. And finally, one more important piece here is that we don't want the text to appear when we've inserted the form field. So we need to check if it was our placeholder indeed, and then set the variable parameter, which is don't text out, to true, so that the text won't be drawn onto the PDF, but instead the form element is placed. Now for the interesting bit, to run the program and see that it actually works. I've set up a file name, and let me just click OK. The report exports, and hopefully our PDF should come up with those interactive form elements. There you go. So we don't have our placeholders, but instead we have our form elements. And also there's an attachment here. Let's click on this and open it. Yeah, that is our attachment. Let's move on now to our second type of needs, which is electronic document conversion. We learn how to use Print2eDoc to automate the process and also get out some enhanced PDF documents with some special settings. Earlier in this session, we had a quick look at the Print2eDoc application and its graphical user interface. Now, we'll take a look at Print2eDoc SDK, which is the programming interface for document conversion. Let's jump into the code and take a look at how various things are done. So first of all, we need to include these files in the uses to be able to access the Print2eDoc object. Then we initialize the Print2eDoc object. This way, we activate the license by passing the license key, and then we can access the standard properties just by accessing the object and naming the property we want. And then we can access the advanced properties. What actually we call the advanced properties are those that are stored in document creation profiles. And for that, we need to first select our profile. Of course, there's a default profile always selected. So we access them through the print2udoc object, through the current profile property, and then we have a whole lot of properties here to do with each of those document formats that print2udoc supports exporting to or generating. Then to set the properties, we just need to access the print2udoc object and the property and set its values. And finally, we need to call update to update the print2udoc object so that it saves those properties. Similarly, when we are changing properties in a profile, we need to call apply changes to current profile. To fire the print job, all we need to do is call the print document method on the print2udoc object. In this application, we are using a file list box to get all the files in a specified folder and then converting all those documents and putting them into a single PDF document. Let's see how we are doing that. So basically the initialization steps, setting off some advanced properties, and then we fire the print passing the first file in the list where we actually add a bookmark to the beginning of the file, and then we finally fire the print document on that file. And the trick here is on create of the application or the form, we are registering an handler for the message that we want to process, which is ndoc. So what we will be doing is that when we get the ndoc message, we actually fire the next print job, and then since we have set up to append to the existing file, the converted document will go into the same PDF file at the end of it. Once all documents are done converting, we simply show the message and get out. Let's quickly run this application and see how it goes. I've selected a folder that contains two files, these two files, history text and readme text. I will hit the convert button. There's some processing happening. All the documents are getting converted. And finally, we get the done message. Now let's go look in our output folder to see what's happened. So we see the document which should contain the two documents that we gave for converting. Let's open it and have a look. So the first file, which is history text, and second one, which is the readme file, and also we can see the bookmarks added to the beginning of each of the documents. Now let's look at converting Office documents and handling all the special elements that Office documents generally tend to have. To handle special elements of Microsoft Office documents, print2udoc provides add-ins, and these add-ins can also be controlled and accessed through the print2udoc SDK. We do that by accessing the Office adding settings property of the print2udoc object, and then we just have to name the property that we want to access and set its value or get its value. To fire the conversion job on an Office document, we have some special methods on the print2udoc object, and those are print Word document, print Excel document and print PowerPoint document. So we pass the document to these methods to handle all those special elements after setting the appropriate properties. Let's run this application to convert an Office Word document to PDF. Once the Word document has been processed, Print2eDoc shows us the preview designer. If we want, we can modify some of the document elements here and then choose to apply and continue. And here we have the PDF file with all the headings exported as bookmarks. Now let's look at the final type of needs that we set out to address at the beginning of this session, which is to work with existing PDF documents. The product that we are going to use for this is PDF Toolkit. And as you can see here, the demo application of PDF Toolkit arranges all the features logically into feature groups. And the code for this demo is written in such a way that you can easily pull out the code related to PDF components from a single unit. It doesn't mix up the code with all the user interface classes and units. It's all put into one single unit, which is called the PDF Toolkit usage unit. And if you just scroll through, you'll get all the functions that have been called on the PDF Toolkit components in a single unit. Let's look at some of the methods and properties that PDF Toolkit provides us to work with PDF documents. To load a file, all we need to call is the load from file method and pass the file name. To save changes, all we need to do is save to file. And then if we need to load from stream, we call the load from stream method. So that way, for loading the file, we have a good set of methods and then some additional properties to open the file after it's been saved. Then if we go to operating on PDF documents to append pages to an existing PDF document, we simply call append pages from and pass the file name that we want to append from and also the range of pages. Likewise, delete pages, there's a delete pages method. Insert pages, again, a method call. Extract pages from, and to merge PDF documents, we simply pass the list of files that we want to merge together and call the merge docs method, and finally save the file to an output file. Then for processing forms, we have an additional set of methods. It's much like how we access items from a string list. All we need to do is call the getFormField method, passing the name or number of the form field, and we get an object which is a GT form field object, and we simply access the properties on that particular form field. So there's a full set of methods for working with form fields, and then we have also several methods actually to extract content from the PDF file. For example, the properties of the page sizes, and then the document information like the author, creator, and so on. And for inserting blank pages, inserting text as well. So there's a whole lot of methods, properties, and events to work with PDF documents. Let's execute some of the functions we saw in the code. First, let's merge all the documents that we've created until now. Let me select all of them, and I've just set up a file name for output, so we save some time. Let me hit the merge button, and in a flash we have the documents merged together. So you can see all the documents that we've created until now merged into one single PDF file. Now let's invoke the PDF form processing functions. First, we load our PDF form file. We'll also take a look at it first to know what we're going to do and to see that the field we change is actually changed. We hit on the form processing tab and we hit get form fields, and you can see all the values that have been read. Let's change this one. Set the value and save the file, and in the background you should see a new form file or a PDF file coming up. Let's open it and see what's happened to the value. You can see that the value has changed. Let's invoke some functions now to insert new elements into an existing PDF document. The file I've chosen is our quick report output file, and the new file that's going to be created is this one. So we want to insert a text annotation. Let me give a message. Sorry for the lack of imagination in choosing a message. Now also what we're going to do is use some new capability of the viewer component. Instead of literally putting in the points, we will choose it through the viewer interactively. So my points are available. Then let me go in and do one more thing here, which is attaching an existing PDF document to this new file that we will be creating, and also pick the point where the icon for that new PDF file should appear. We attach, and also let me just add the annotation, and let's save the file. In the background we should see our new PDF file created. Let's open it, and we have the text annotation here and also the new attachment. If we double click it, it opens. Let's take another quick look at the viewer. It's a multi-page viewer, loads fast, supports type 1 fonts as well, several new image types and color types, and also has interactive capability. The other features to note are the usual document property extraction, printing, security, and some more. In the next demo, let's use some of this capability to do some really interesting things. I know you developers have a greater imagination most times than we do, because we get to hear from people of their needs and solutions we never imagined would be done with our products. Anyway, here are two problems that we have picked. To build a keyword index for an existing PDF and a TOC page and the outline tree for an existing PDF. Before we run the demos, let's understand what features of PDF Toolkit we'll be making use of to achieve the keyword index. First of all, we use the search all function to know where those keywords occur in the document. Basically, we get the positions of those keywords, and then we insert a blank page at the end of the document. And for the keyword page itself, we use the link annotation to insert the links after calling the text.out method with the keyword and the page number, and finally insert the link to point to the destination of those keywords. For creating the TOC page and the outline tree, we use the getPageElements method, which gets us all the text in the PDF document. Then we do some processing on it to discard the text items that we don't want to deal with based on the font sizes. And to create the TOC page itself, we use text out with all the details that we have gathered. And then we use the insert bookmark or create new bookmark method to create the outline tree. And finally, we save the document with the output file name. Let's run the demos now. So for the keyword index, I have selected our famous quick report output, and I just know some keywords in there, so I'm going to type it in. Build index, and in a flash our file is generated with the keyword index at the end of the document with the links inserted as well for each of the keywords that we gave. For the table of contents page and outline tree generation example, I've chosen a special report that has all the differences in font sizes, and I've also entered the font sizes here that we want to handle. Let's hit the Build TOC button and see what happens. The table of contents page is generated at the beginning of the document, and also the outline tree for the font sizes that we wanted to handle. For the final demo of this session, we have another frequently asked question, which is, can a PDF page be rendered on a report? The answer to that question is yes, and it can be done using PDF Toolkit. What we're going to see is a starting point to what can actually be achieved, and I'm happy to let people take it as homework from CodeRage. We're going to see this example using Report Builder. All I've done is placed an image component, and then when the draw command for that image component occurs, we're calling the render to canvas method of the PDF document component, passing the page and the canvas handle of the meta file that we will use to finally assign to the image. Let's run the report and check out the preview. The PDF file that we are using here is generated by eDoc engine, and you can see that the PDF has been drawn onto the image component. Let's also take a look at the original PDF file that we placed on the report. As I said, this is only a starting point to what can actually be done. Perhaps we will have more on this next time or in a special video that we put out. It's amazing, but it's actually true that we have reached the end of this demonstration. And here's another look at what we got to see. Hope the demos were useful. To get the source code for all the demos, please go to the Gnostice website and the CodeRage.asp page. We didn't cover .NET in this demonstration, but I'd like to inform that Gnostice does support .NET. If you're going to be using .NET and also going to be using Delphi Prism or any other .NET IDE for that matter, then PDF1.NET is the product from Gnostice for working with PDF documents. And here's some more useful information about the Gnostice products. How do you purchase them? The professional annual subscription is a really economical way to license the Gnostice products if you're going to be using more than one of the tools. If you have a need for just one of them, you can of course buy them individually. And the Gnostice VCL products include a royalty-free deployment license for both desktop and internet applications. And please also note the special discount that we are running for CodeRage attendees. I can't imagine how many people are behind this work. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. All attendees, customers, beta testers, my team, and CodeGear Embarcadero for having us on this event. Thank you.